Welcome to the video guys. This is Ripu Manthan, and in this video we are going to discuss a topic which is the API from the secure backend services, in which we are going to talk about the API. What is an API? An API interface, application programming interface, is a set of rules and protocols that allow different software's application to interact with each other. Suppose we have a website and a backend is also there, so we need to integrate a logic and build some functions to interact with the backend and display the information on the front end and uh, do the CRUD operations also, and implementing and creating, deleting, updating the data at the backend, so from the front end. So between two different softwares we need to integrate connection between and communicate between both the devices. So that is where the API comes into play. First of all, the introduction, where an application programming interface is an API that is easier for software applications to communicate with one another, and different policies and procedures are there, request and communication between for the proper communication. Use of APIs, and developers may use of features like the other programs and saving some time to do the work. They serve as code between encouraging simple integration and interoperability also. API is widely used for web developers to communicate with the platforms. So web developers use these APIs to perform the actions and services operated by parties. APIs is also used in client-side and server-side apps communicate with each other. Next, we have the application of APIs. Online development include creating apps and for the data we need, and connecting to the backend also, developing mobile apps, integrating with social networks, integrating with backend services, and assessing devices. In, and it is also used in Internet of Things for sensors and devices to communicate with each other. Cloud computing for different services, apps installed, and managing infrastructure of this particular services, and to use these features also. Next, we have a type of APIs we can create, and depending upon our functionality and features. RESTful APIs, representational state transfer, leveraging the HTTP method get, post, put, delete, where we implement these particular functions and methods, creating these endpoints and communicate with the backend. In the SOAP, we have the simple object access and using the XML basis messaging for data exchange. We have the GraphQL APIs, where for particular flexibility and efficiency approach of fetching the data and implementing the design. Next, we have techniques of API development. First of all, we need RESTful principles, HTTP methods, status code, which we are going to return for each and every endpoint we will create in the API. Versioning for different version controls and different version created in the API, so they work smoothly and switch between each other. Authentication and authorization, like JWT auth APIs, basic authentication is must in APIs for secure backend use. Caching improve by using the caches and the responses and reducing service load. Error handling also, where it comes into play, the error handling and returning safe and status codes for implementing better functionality of the API when it is dealing with any error. Next, approach of building, define the required endpoints. We need the different endpoints for executing different tasks and getting, fetching the data, updating, deleting, and posting also. We choose the technology, Node.js, DG, Django, Flask, and API.NET Core for creating the endpoints and requirements. Design the API endpoints and data models for classes. We can implement that, which will directly link to the database. Implement business logic and data validation also, and testing the API throughout using automated and integrating tests. And document the API using Swagger and commenting out the code for each and every endpoint we created. And then there where the CSS will also develop APIs for production services for premises and cloud-based users. Then the use cases of this API can be in social media integration, where user profile and posted content and retrieving the data from social platforms. Next, we have the platform gateways, payment gateways, where we handle the payment methods. Geological graphical locations, mapping and routing optimization. E-commerce platform, product catalog management, inventory tracing and order processing. Weather data, assessing real-time weather information, forecast, and historical data also. Next, we have the conclusion. APIs play a vital role in modern software development, enabling seamless integration and automation also, where we communicate with each other. Understanding the APIs and their various types and development techniques, use a best case in essential developing robust and scalable applications in a mobile application and web application to communicate with backend and the front end very easily. This was all in this video, and thanks for watching. Thank you.